Hey everybody, Tony D and Little Joan here with a hot take on today's headlines over Gab. Beer virus butt swabs for Beijing residents more accurate, say Chinese expert. Yeah, this is probably just enough information for our government to say, ooh, let's make them do that. Um, I sort of half hope that they do so people find, if there are any people left that haven't figured out that the government just wants to screw you, that they'll be the ones in line for this test. I don't even believe that it's true, but there you go. Um, but the game is rigged. The game is rigged, and many of these headlines, yeah, they kind of enforce that. So, for instance, Biden press office to ban media that quote traffic in conspiracy theories, because the Biden press office is so accurate. I mean, just today, they asked them again, the press secretary, what's her face, Psaki, I guess that's how you pronounce it, asked her specifically about the whole Reddit thing with GameStop and the traders and the hedge funds. And her response was to shoot off on a tangent about how their Treasury Secretary is a woman. Yeah, I mean, that's what their priority is. Well, peasants, you wanted equity and we gave it to you. What are you complaining about? Pay your taxes. That's kind of what it's like. You know, it's always been that the government was always kind of tone deaf, especially people like Biden and this crowd. But my God, they're doubly tone deaf because even their underlings who do the actual work for these people and feed them the information that they make decisions on, they're all on Twitter. They're all twidiots. Uh, the twidiots are everywhere, and they're usually woke. They put their pronouns everywhere. They put it on the government website, and they think people are chomping at the bit for left-wing cultural Marxism, where gender is erased and everybody is everything, but nobody's nothing, and anybody who disagrees is a racist bigot. Now, I think some of these people use these ploys very cynically, but a lot of them just are caught up in it. And those are the really dangerous ones, the ones that actually are kind of going along, believing that it'll all work out somehow. The fact that they were asked point blank, about this situation, and that they just shot off on a tangent about, oh, have you seen the genitalia of our Treasury Secretary? Impressive, eh? Like, no, not at all. um, so yeah, it's just been an S show with the whole stock thing, because now it's my understanding that the Robin Hood people, who were initially championed as bringing the power to the people to buy stocks, are now forcing people to close their stocks, basically forcing a sell-off under the guise of, well, we're helping you. We don't want you to get burned. And they're also selling the stock not even at the top rate, which is weird too. I thought if a stock hits $300, you're going to get close to $300 for it. But who knows? And now the stock is going down. And people are seeing this, and I think it's true, is the powers that be trying to save their hedge fund buddies. Why are you saving these a-holes? Do you have any idea what you've started here? I guess not. Again, these people won't be happy until people are pounding on their doors in the middle of the night. When the angry mob shows up at your mansion, it's too late. It's too late to go, oh, we're going to fix this. It's too late then. You woke morons have embraced defund the police, protesting everything. But now you're oppressing the other side. You're essentially just taking the side of millionaires. That's not going to work. Even AOC isn't stupid enough to fall for that. She's making noise about, I don't know, coming down hard on somebody for this fiasco. The hedge funds, she certainly would like to get in there and tax the S out of them. Not that she isn't the friend of these people. She is. She just plays a socialist on TV. Rashida Tlaib, though, she said some kind of interesting things. I mean, I don't really trust her either, but she seems a little more, or rather a little less demagogue than AOC and Ilhan Omar. But we'll see. We'll see if these people actually do anything. Because at the same time, when, AOC is making noise about doing something about hedge funds, she's also telling Ted Cruz that he tried to kill her and that he should resign. So I think they got a long way before they come together. But we'll see. I mean, keep stomping your feet and refusing to work with anybody, AOC. See what that gets you. Biden likely to delay executive orders on immigration, including task force to reunite families. Oh, what a shock! You mean he's going back on another promise already? Biden's determined to crash and burn his presidency in like the first month. This has only been the first week. John Kerry to oil and gas workers who lost their jobs because of Biden's war on energy. Quote, go make solar panels. Oh, why don't you learn the code, you... I would like to curse a lot right now. John Kerry, one of the biggest disappointments of humanity at this point, in terms of being a politician. Here was a guy who supposedly took a bold stance against the Vietnam War, threw his medals over the White House fence. Who knew he was just being fashionable for the time? Then he marries the heiress to the Heinz fortune, becomes a senator, and becomes one of the biggest neolibs in the swamp. His son is doing business with Hunter Biden, if that's any indication of what's going on. This is how these people act. I mean, they're just perfectly willing to put their family in the pipeline too. Oh, get rich, get real rich, son. Don't do anything for people. Get real rich. There's a video of a pipeline worker basically freaking out on camera, going off. It was on Twitter, but it's gone now. It doesn't make any sense. They took it. Keystone Pipeline worker goes off after Biden fires him and 10,000 co-workers, according to the Gateway Pundit. According to Biden's Department of Homeland Security, military occupation around government building must continue, and Americans should snitch on their neighbors. Yes, because that isn't totally Orwellian and scary. With regards to the beer virus, experts are now, if you think the butt swab is bad, they're now saying, oh, wear 2 masks. Oh, maybe 3, maybe even 4. Yeah. Good luck getting people to wear 1 after you float these balloons. But I think the biggest story of today, the one we really should be focused on, is the story about Ricky Vaughan. Ricky Vaughan, that's not his real name. He's one of these meme makers. He's been arrested. Indicted for using Twitter to, quote, spread disinformation to Hillary Clinton voters in 2016. He basically made a meme. And he's facing 10 years in prison. 10 years in prison. There are people who actually destroyed votes on camera. Ballot harvest On camera. They're not facing 10 years. And the ones that are facing anything at all are only facing it because Project Veritas got the footage and I assume sent it to the FBI. This guy, you know how deep they had to dig just to find this guy? And right now, on Twitter, there is a little meme for Trump voters that was the same exact thing. It told Trump voters to text to a number to cast your vote. And that was incorrect. It was wrong. It was misinformation. This guy did the same thing. He's facing 10 years in prison. The people who put the other one up, they haven't even taken down the meme. That's still up. It's still on Twitter. Twitter hasn't even taken it down. They're trying to get Marjorie Taylor Greene booted from Congress. I assume because she dared to try to impeach King Joe Biden. They say it's because of some video she made a few years ago using a word that hurt everybody's feelings. Speaking of words that hurt feelings, apparently the term China virus hurts Joe Biden's feelings, so he's having it banned. You can't say China virus according to Joe Biden because that's an important distinction. Yes, of course, that 80-year-old mummy should be policing our language, especially when it comes to a virus that originated in China. Maybe he'll call it the Wuhan virus, but I kind of doubt it. Facebook will stop recommending political groups permanently. Somehow, I don't think it will be all political groups, though, but we'll see. Reddit shut down Wall Street Bet subgroup, blames racism and hate speech after rookie investors in general public make money, causing hedge funds to go bust. That's basically it. And yeah, I mean, if in case you were wondering, Reddit is very much against us as well. I think, in my opinion, they are chock full of socialists. I don't know why these guys even used it, quite frankly. Reddit is becoming very useless, in my view. It's sort of at it's not quite where YouTube is, but it's really approaching that quickly. It's catching up to YouTube in terms of its censorship and uselessness. Actually, I would say it's a little past YouTube. It's more like where Twitter was 5 years ago. They're just determined to, they want these free and open platforms. And then when they're free and open, they go, well, wait a minute. We didn't expect you to say all those things. Those things we don't like. Ooh. Because they're forcing people to basically sell off GameStop and a few others, the Dow dropped more than 600 points. That was the first big drop since like October. I would expect a lot more, though. I gotta imagine shorting a stock is probably going to be very lucrative in the coming days. Since they're probably going to ban the Wall Street Bets guys from everything in an attempt to stop this rebellion. You can't mess with their money, man. And now there's rumors of a Wall Street 2.0 protest. Don't go to Goldman Sachs. Go to the Federal Reserve. This time there are Republicans involved. Hopefully some libertarians. Go to the Federal Reserve, you morons. Don't protest in front of Goldman Sachs. They just laugh at you and pour their champagne off the balcony at you. Go to the Federal Reserve and then watch them really seriously quake. That's where the protest needs to be. Um, yeah. So this is where we're at. It's they're just coming at us with everything now. Even after, you know, everything that's happened, they can't just take the wind and win and go on and try to be even normal for a while. They want to stomp on us. You know, there's a terrible line. I shouldn't say terrible as in it's poorly written, but terrible in that it's a frightful thought now. From 1984, and it goes something like, "Imagine a boot stomping on a face forever." And that's the future. That's the future of the party in the book. That's our future if we allow these people to continue like they're going. And for you idiots who take the bribes, your bribes will be worthless. Your bribes are worthless if they decide to cancel you or imprison you or stomp on your face forever with a boot. There'll be nothing to stop them. Taking the money will not protect you. It won't. There were rich people in China before the revolution. What happened to them? There were rich people in Russia before that revolution. What happened to all of them? They didn't just switch over and get to be in the Politburo. None of them did. They were the targets. That's where you're headed with this, you dummies. Anybody with any kind of money will be targeted if the peasants, you break the peasants. And once you break them, they have nothing to lose. Once the peasants feel that they have nowhere to go, that their future is bleak and pointless, that they have no food to feed their families, then all bets are off. It's happened many times over the course of history. Look at the French Revolution. Do you want a French Revolution? Because that's where you're headed. You have to address the concerns of the common man. The Romans knew this. They were at least able to keep their empire going for hundreds of years after. But we have people in power who are just beyond entitled, beyond spoiled. They think they know so much. And again, it all goes back to education. They were educated in these bubbles where they were validated over and over again, and the thoughts that they had, they were just wrong. Google stops donating to Republicans that objected to the 2020 elections. Yeah, Google donates to Republicans. They donate literally to every politician. The fact that they stop donating from anybody should tell you where their head's at. They're going to cut off the Republicans. The Republicans are becoming populist. The more populist they become, the more their money will dry up. Because the billionaires will go away. Oh, the Republicans are for the rich, you say. Not anymore. CNN's Jake Tapper, GOP tried to remove Clinton for lying, but not Trump for inciting a, quote, terrorist attack. This is what you get with the corporate media. I mean, it's insane. Everything in that headline is just nuts. But that's CNN these days. Chris Cillizza on CNN panned for claiming Trumpism is behind GameStop stock surge. And it's stupid. One bit of pushback, Josh Hawley, who's been grossly maligned by media and everybody else, is calling for an ethics investigation into Democrats who filed complaint against him. Good for him for pushback. Not that it's going to do much. In the Daily Mail, however, they're still pushing Russiagate. How Russia began grooming Donald Trump 40 years ago by saving him from his financial ruin, book claims. Why would you give this book any credence? But I guess that's UK media. And yeah, that's about it. That's about it from the headlines. I just can't get over this butt swab thing. So what's gonna happen? I can't tell you. I can tell you this. There's no way you can buy these stocks anymore. They've pretty much put them all on hold. I tried to set up a Robinhood account last night. I'm way late to this party. It didn't go through all the way. I couldn't get my bank to tie in, and thank God, because by morning it was all over. By morning they were just saying, no, you can't buy any of this stock. You could sell it, but you can't buy it. And that went to TD, Ameritrade, and E-Trade, and all the other ones basically said they weren't going to sell you the stock anymore because they're trying, in my view, to save the hedge funds. You know, it's funny. When people are losing their homes, losing their jobs, ooh, yeah, well, we're going to try to think of something, says Congress. Oh, but when hedge fund managers start losing some money because they're idiots and do stupid things on the stock market, well, suddenly Congress and everyone jumps into action. That's what your government's for. It's to protect the rich. It's what it's always been for. It's what every government is. So, if you finally sort of realize that stark conclusion, and this is the first time, and you're just going, oh my God, this is horrible. Just know it's always been that way. It's always been that horrible. It's just that now you know. And now that you know, now that lots of people know, hopefully we could change things. We could push back on it and get to somewhere. I'm not sure where, but yeah, this isn't going away. This is something interesting.